on va parler maintenant d'une dimension, d'une industrie dans les industries créatives et culturelles qui en a vu d'autres en termes de changements technologiques qui ont vraiment amené les artistes dans cette industrie à se réinventer. Et on parle de la musique. Et en fait, j'ai fait aux 7 doigts de la main, j'essaie de comprendre comment, pour faire un spectacle vivant, pour donner un peu la petite histoire, on a besoin de plein de genres d'artistes. Des gens qui sont bons pour imaginer des histoires, des costumes, des designs graphiques, des artistes visuels, et bien sûr des musiciens, des compositeurs, des gens qui peuvent nous donner cette ambiance musicale-là. Et j'ai fait un deep dive avec ce collègue des 7 doigts de la main dans le studio, et il m'a donné un 101 un petit peu de comment la musique est un intrant tellement important dans nos spectacles. Et ce que j'ai réalisé en fait, c'est qu'il y a une agilité vraiment particulière, je trouve, dans la musique. Peut-être parce qu'ils se sont tapés en fait beaucoup de révolutions et beaucoup de combats récemment. Et on parle du sampling, on parle de l'Internet, Napster qui vient, qui disrupt aussi à son tour. Maintenant, la réinvention de la chaîne de valeur, et ça continue maintenant avec l'IA. Et pour nous parler de musique et de cette industrie-là, on voulait commencer par vous faire entendre un peu les réflexions, l'analyse d'un journaliste spécialisé en musique, un journaliste international qui a des shows et en Allemagne et au Canada. Il a interviewé 1000 artistes dans sa carrière, de Adele à Lady Gaga, donc il a quand même accès à des gens qu'on connaît tous. Il se focus maintenant sur l'impact de l'IA dans l'industrie de la musique. Il a été le fondateur d'une agence d'art et technologie qui s'appelle Wicked Artists, and he explores the intersection of creativity and technology. At Entertain AI, he will give us his current state of music creation and distribution. He's also the founder or the producer of a very famous podcast on AI and music called the Illiac Suite. So please help me welcome our next guest, Dennis Kastrup. Good luck. Monsieur.
Ça commence bien. Bonjour tout le monde, je suis très content d'être ici. Oui, je parle aussi le français parce que j'habite ici, mais je vais faire le speech en anglais, désolé. Mais vous pouvez parler avec moi en français après. I'm very happy to be here, and you already see the title of this talk, Punk's Not Dead, but No Longer Alive. Before, I would like to ask you, anybody knows that cover? Anybody here is a punk? Oh yeah, okay. What is it? It's The Exploited, 1981. The time when punk was kind of dying. Why punk's not dead but no longer alive? It is a contradiction, I know. You hopefully will find out later. So when AI approached me to say something about the current state in music and AI, I instantly thought, oh, I could talk about what is happening, what is possible with AI and music these days. What can you do? And quickly I realized you can do, and here comes a funny thing, spoiler, should work. You can turn it up for maybe 2 seconds. So you can do everything with AI in music these days. I talk about this for many years, and I realized these days, back then I thought, oh, the new step is coming, this is possible. I was surprised, I was amazed, this is possible, but today we can just do anything with AI. So from making a dead person singing a song for the Beatles, creating stems for a song, creating a new song just by prompts, everything is possible. So we can stop this. I decided to talk about my relation with AI, a very personal one on a human scale. And with that road, I will talk about, you will probably also realize what is AI doing in the field of music these days and how it changed for me and how it changed for everyone. I started in 2016 talking about AI. That was the time when artists were slowly emerging with AI. I remember talking about a musical play in which musicians were playing with an AI in the sense that the AI was creating music after a note, and they were playing the notes after, and it was so exciting. Everybody was talking about. I met Benoit Carré, who composed with Sony's Flow machine Daddy's Car, which was kind of, for me, I know there have been many AIs in music business before, but it was for me kind of the moment where the AI kind of crawled out of the underground a little bit. People were talking about it. People were discussing what is going on there. That AI back then was not creating a whole song. It was just creating melodies and composing the song, and in the end it was still played by humans, Benoit Carré and his team, but it set shockwaves in the music world. It was the first time people like, not the first time, but the time where in the media were talking about, oh, how could this be real music? It was not composed by human. Is this real? And this question remains until today. I'm just going to let you play that song for some seconds so you have an image, an imagination of how this sounds. Sounds very Beatlesque. That but remember, it was still sung and played by humans. Another big step then in the same year kind of came for me, because AI was still that geeky kind of stuff. There were so many people experimenting with it, trying new stuff. The music was really geeky, and it was a little bit still like computer music, not that good. And then we needed one player who put the attention on the AI in the field of pop music. And for me, that was Terence Southern. The album is not good, sorry. But what she did, she was a former kind of reality pop star, and she released the album I Am AI. Funny wordplay. And she did this with the help of Amper Music, which was then back in an AI software who was also creating some melodies. She took the melodies and she worked with those melodies. She was listening to hundreds of versions which the AI created, and then choose the melody and made a song out of this, which is kind of exactly what musicians do anyway these days. They have melodies in their head and they choose one melody out of these melodies, but she just had those melodies, and the album is called I Am AI, and people were talking about this. For me, that was a step where AI arrived in mainstream. That was for me the moment like, okay, we can use AI now and it's cool. I know she also did it because she knew it was cool, but she used that trick. And what I thought it was funny also, I always thought, didn't she even use AI? We don't know. She could have just said it. She could have just said, oh, I found some melodies, I made some music, so we have to believe her, which is also a part of music these days always. And another big step when AI arrived in the mainstream is 2023. I make a big jump here, I know, but since 2017, it was slowly evolving. It was more accessible. It was cheaper to produce it. But in 23 was the AI year. The voice models flooded the internet. I'm pretty sure you all were there, and you all were listening suddenly to songs that were created over the internet, and you were listening suddenly when Donald Trump and Arnold Schwarzenegger were singing, which was kind of funny because originally they can't sing, and with an AI voice they suddenly can sing. But for this voice, you still needed a basic voice. It's like you had to sing something which was then transferred or transformed into another voice. The internet went wild. I remember seeing so many different versions of music floating around, and that's the moment where I also started my podcast, because I thought I have to talk about this. There were different platforms where musicians were able to upload their voices and create another voice. And another big moment was this guy, David Guetta. He went on stage, and I don't know if you know this scene, but he went on stage in 23, and he called this David Guetta featuring anything, or maybe the uploader just called it, it's not David Guetta. But he used an Eminem sample into his AI, into his set.
This is the future rave sound. I'm getting lost in an underground. This is the future rave sound. I'm getting lost in an underground.
Okay, you saw it. Thousands of people. I don't know how many, 30,000 people And I'm sure nobody in that moment realized this is not the real Eminem. He talked about it later, and then everybody talked about it. How can he take an Eminem voice, which was created by an AI, another big buzz about it. And that's the moment, for me, AI take off. 23, music and AI. And AI also helped in the music field a lot. It was a best promotion for AI. And that's what's always happening with new technologies. When new technologies arrive, the music industry adapts really quickly. So AI was really quickly adapted in the music world. You probably heard the Drake and the Weeknd song, which got famous, where somebody, we still don't know, I think it's a producer, just produced some beats. And it was a good producer. He was a good musician, which is important. And then he just transferred the voices he had. I still don't know if it was his voice or some other voices into the voices of Drake and the Weeknd. Everybody was discussing this. And it also existed songs in other languages, which I really loved was a Turkish version of a Rihanna song. It must have been a Turkish person who sang in Turkish the Rihanna song, and then they transferred it into a Rihanna voice. And I really loved it. It was one of my moments like, wow, this is possible, this is beautiful. And other players came around because they were discussing, is it okay to take another voice just for the fun and play around with it? You probably heard of, I don't know if you heard about it, but Grimes is the famous one. She just gave away her voice, which was called Elftech, so you could upload your voice and it was transferred to Grimes' voice. And you could do whatever you want with it. She was okay with this. So she also was starting the discussion about copyright. Is it okay to take a voice for somebody else? She said, just take it. If you make money with it, I'll take 50%. I'm totally happy with this. Other persons you should check out is Portrait XO and Holly Herndon. They were also early adopters. They also didn't have problems with copyrights because they were training their AI on their voices. So they took their voices and put it into a data set, and an AI created choirs and other voices. I really like the approach of Portrait XO because the AI voices which were created were like some gibberish. And she started to understand the gibberish and react to that gibberish in her voice. It's a really nice and beautiful album, and she was also kind of the first adapters. That was way before 23, but they're really two important persons who worked with AI in the beginning. And then all this buzz was happening. I was searching online for a guy who was playing with AI voices, and that was for me an eye-opening moment. He said, I want to rap like Tupac. It's like, okay. And his name is Mellow Flows. He doesn't know that I'm talking still about him. He just has 50 followers or something. And I'm going to play you the song he made. He was rapping, and he was changing his voice to Tupac. It's his beats. It's just a little extract.
I really want you to feel me on this. I find myself thinking about my father drinking, missing up at the house, my mama kicking me out. I look at them and me now. What do I see having children's about? I'm one of many trying to figure this out, and I've been known for getting around. You might have heard me digging it out with your bitch on the couch. You trying to be responsible for the kids who I found to middle ground. Bitch, take the stick in your mouth. I'm just a man, I admit it. The plans I envision.
Okay. So, pretty good. But it's pretty good because he's a musician too. He produced the beats and he was rapping on the bass. What he said about this, and this was for me just like, wow.
With a voice like, for example, Tupac, I just feel more comfortable saying certain things. Just to be more gutter, to be more vulgar, I could use different voices, and I feel like that allows me to get away with it more. Because if it's just my voice, I don't know, it just doesn't sound like like I should be saying those things.
Isn't that beautiful? I mean, he could be somebody else and say something he would never say before. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, it was a really personal lyrics, and he didn't feel it fits his personality, so he was just choosing the personality of Tupac, and that's where he felt comfortable. So it is a circus of dreams. AI voice from that moment on enabled people to do things they were never able to do before. That's crazy. I mean, I could sing, I could never sing. We can put words into other people's mouth. We can wear masks to act like other musicians. We can express ourselves like Mellowflows just did with music, even though we cannot sing. Well, he can sing, he raps. And that's why I made a little bit of a connection of AI is punk. Because a lot of those people also cannot really do the music they want to do, but with the ability of an AI, they can do stuff and they can say stuff they wanted to. And that's how the punk was working. Those kids were angry in the 70s and they were not able to express themselves. And they couldn't play guitar. They just had 3 chords. I mean, everybody in this audience can play a punk song in 2 days. And then they shout into a microphone. So I know it's not the real punk, okay? I know there's more to punk. If somebody's here in the audience, sorry. I just have a little similarity there. It's more than just punk. But wait, what did I just say? We can put words in other people's mouth. That's what AI does for us. You know these guys? Who is it? Oasis. It's Liam on the right, Noel on the left. Noel wrote every lyric for the Oasis. Liam was singing it. So that's nothing new. We've always been like this in the music. People put words in other people's mouth. Our Celine, she never wrote a song. She's just singing what somebody tells her to sing. Rihanna, Frank Sinatra, I'm sorry, he never wrote a song. All the lyrics come from other people. Whitney. Even Ozzy didn't write a song. Sorry. The Who. Pete Townshend, no. Daltrey wrote the songs. So it is, we talk about this and we discuss this. Oh, it's terrible that we use other voices to express ourselves, but it's always been like this in the music industry. It's nothing new. Musicians have always sung lyrics and melodies which they have never written, and it was always okay. Music lives most of the time from the qualities of its entertainers. That's what they do on stage, what they do when they present their faces. That's how they are special, how the way they interpret a song. And if we talk about this, we call the one who faked everything the king. He never wrote one song. He never wrote one lyric. He just took what other people already have written. So in that sense, we experience something which is not really new. We experience the same thing in the music industry, just with different tools. Coming back to the end of 23, of course, that's when the discussions of the infringements of copyright started, and a lot of platforms were out there, and I played with them pretty much, and suddenly they disappeared because they were afraid. First lawsuit appeared in California was one, I remember. So it was really wild and people were having fear. And in September that year, I was asked on German television, so what's going on now? What's the new thing about AI? And I said, we can generate voices, use AI to write lyrics, create melodies, and do final mixes in digital workstations, audio workstations. So we can probably do a lot of things, but we are far away from creating whole songs with just a few clicks. I was so wrong. Suno arrived 2 months later. It was clear for me, it takes a long time. You all know Suno, you just put in some prompts and you can describe what you want, genre, lyrics. You can let the lyrics write by an AI or just do it by yourself. So suddenly it was possible for all of us here to be musicians. I know, musicians like this. We can generate instrument voices, melodies, and the mixings. Lyrics could be generated, or you write the lyrics and the song is created with your lyrics. And I remember prompting my first ever fully written song. I thought, let's try something easy. So I chose German Schlager. Because what I thought was, this AI is way far away from having a jazz song or a good song I would like to have. And this is my weak point of this presentation. Right now I'm going to show you what I put in, because after this I go to another step. So I prompted this song because I thought about what is the easiest way of making music. It's making German Schlager for Germans who go to islands in Spain, drink a lot, are really sexistic, and have simple beats all the way through. And I made also the lyrics to this. So this is what came out of this. And you know what? For Schlager, I thought it was amazing. Forgive me the lyrics, okay?
Wir sind bereit, draußen liegt der Schnee.
And it's for me still an earworm.
Wir, nee, nee, nee. Ich kenn da eine Insel, die ist doch gut für mich.
And you can clap with. It was perfect.
Da müssen wir jetzt alle hin, denn im Bier da liegt unser Sinn. Los, los nach Mallorca, saufen, saufen ist doch klar. Schalalala, Mallorca.
And now,
Mallorca. Los, los
simple.
Mallorca, saufen.
Really, really simple. And I also played a little bit because I know Schlager. You just repeat. If you repeat lyrics, the AI also knows this is a Schlager. And if you add a shalalala, the AI grabs in the database, oh, shalalala, that's nice. Let's make a little Schlager song out of this. So that was easy. For me, it was fun. But I didn't realize I was an early adapter because in August that year, this song, generated by an AI, charted the first AI song in Germany at position 48. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't expect this. I didn't have commercial at home. Ah, okay. Sorry. It's a song about. It's a Schlager song. You can imagine because all they was sound a bit. And it was the story behind it was generated with audio, uploaded on TikTok, where it got attention. It was first of all a 30-second song, and the audiences they wanted more. It was created by a communication designer. It was just for fun. He called himself Butterbro, which is a wordplay with German because normally Butterbrot means butter bread, but so he cut the T. It's Butterbro. Really funny. So they wanted more and more and more. And why did this song have success? It was really, really, really easy. Because, first of all, mainstream doesn't have taste. And the melody was simple. And it was attached to what's happening right now. And that is always also important. You have to attach your song to what's going on right now. And I'm quoting here, and this might be very stereotypic, and I'm sorry if somebody will be offended by this, but this is the quote they said about this. It is called Talahorn. It usually describes young men of Arab descent who often behave and dress stereotypically, fanny pack, fake branded clothes, short-shaved hair on the sides, usually cocky appearance in public. Stereotypes. And it was also the youth word of that year. So connected to all this, suddenly everybody was listening to an AI song, and nobody cared. Conclusion. It doesn't matter who writes the song. If you like the song, that's what counts. If you associate something with the song, it's your song. And it touches your heart, it doesn't matter. Many musicians I interviewed always told me, when I asked them, what is this song about? It's your song. I don't care what the song about is for you. Take whatever you want out of the song, and it's your song. And there's a story about a German who sang about a cat for 10 years. And people were loving the song because they thought it was about love and losing somebody and kissing somebody. And 10 years later, he told it's about a cat. So does it change the song? No. If you loved that song for 10 years and you thought it's about my ex, it's your song. Same with AI. If you listen to an AI, and if AI creates something and it touches you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's why I made a funny animation. Wow. So what does it mean in the end? There's so much to experiment with. AI can help us all to be musicians, which is great. Just like a drum machine made people drummers, autotune made people singers, and computers made people producers. Coming back to the subject that is a little bit punk, no skills, lots of fun, and a lot of music. We can all do this, although you are, of course, better when you know what to get out of an AI. If you're already a musician, you can work with those tools better than people who are no musician, to make this clear. So I'm really optimistic what's going to happen with AI. And I'm going to speed up now because I know I have time. But this is why it is no longer alive. General Biafra said, from Dead Kennedys, punk will only die when corporations can exploit and mass produce it. We're there. Generations of musicians worked hard to create music based on other music input, like listen to music, producing music, listen to music, producing music, listen to music. And this is cut now. in the sense that AI can do it. There's no human who listens anymore, it's the AI takes it. So all the music in the datasets of tech companies, I know Sandra said those companies don't make a lot of money, not yet, and they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay for them. So far, there's a big discussion in the UK. You can all listen to this. David Almond just launched a silent album to protest, don't take our data. And a lot of people always say about this, you can make anything you want, it's democratizing the music. Yes, it is, but I believe it has never been more difficult to make money with it. People always give it an argument. It was always like this. New technology arises. I have this also a lot here now. It shifts, new jobs come. Yes, but old jobs still are hard to keep up. So we are facing a problem. Yes, new job will come, but we also have to be aware that old jobs are harder to establish. Like, for example, the silent movers. Everybody is always quoting the silent movement time. Yeah, the musicians, they were then having other jobs. But what they did, they were playing for soundtracks, for films. But if you lose your job now to AI, another AI takes over that sound. That's the problem. There's so much AI that not every, but a lot of music jobs are now taken by AI. I have many musicians who made a lot of money while creating brands for films or for commercial. And the problem is they need other jobs now. So they cannot focus really on making music these days. Everything is more expensive and it's hard to survive anyhow. So I think those people will struggle more than ever. And I fear we'll lose a lot of creative musicians who will not be able to do this anymore. And I also thought, this is my little sidekick, what would have Leonard done? I mean, he was a poet, and he was fearing to sing. He was not able to sing in the beginning. He was writing poets. And I saw a lot of stuff about documentaries of it, and he's like, I have fear of singing. And at one point, he did then finally sing. Maybe Leonard would have used an AI, because I know a lot of poets who used an AI to make their poets into songs. I know it's a little bit far away, but it's worth a thought. Maybe we would have lost Leonard, I don't know. I don't know if you heard about this research in 2023. It was also floating around. We generate 120 songs per day on streaming platforms. That is 44 million songs per year. And that was 23. I don't know what the data says today. We are being shit on, by music. And a lot of this is made by artificial intelligence, or with the help of artificial intelligence. What does it mean for the music? I believe we cannot keep up with that speed as a society. I think we cannot control the copyright infringement of the world. We have so many songs. At one point, every song has to sound like something. If you continue in a speed of 44 million songs, so it's really difficult to keep that copyright thing up. And I also know Damien Reel, who has an AI called All the Music. He already generated every possible melody on this planet. He gave it for free, because he didn't want that anybody sues for infringement. But so actually everything is there. We have to start thinking out of the box, because the society has never been organized like this before. So I think we should think about letting copyrights go. Or we will at one day, because we cannot put it up again. Free for all. That is pretty punk again, I think. But what does it mean for the society? Back in the days, there were unions who took care of musicians. Like for the film, I told you about the silent films, they were coming up and like, oh, but we don't have this anymore. It's a little bit sad. Well, we have, but not that many. So it's difficult for musicians to survive. And I think political institutions should take care of this. But we all know the political governments around the world right now don't really have an interest in musicians. It's really sad, but there would be such a great opportunity to do this. Help the musicians, get them paid, and there should be like a basic income, not in the basic income sense, my opinion, but in the sense that there should be a pool of money where companies pay for, and this should be should be paid to the musicians. I know this is really, really complicated, and there must be a lot of discussions about this, how we do this. I'm aware, and I know that people say, oh, that is not fair, we're in a liberal world, we can do whatever. But you know, I've been always told my life, this is not fair, but we should start dreaming at one point. I mean, we have AI, we could do this. So we can help our musicians to create beautiful stuff with music, and don't pay all the lawyers to take care of the copyrights. There's also another model right now going on, which is called licensing. So people get paid when they are in data sets. It's a lot discussed right now also. But my problem with this is probably the rights have the big labels again, and the labels get paid more than the musicians in the end. I think it's a good idea, but I'm still afraid it will be like the Spotify thing. You pay all the labels and not the musicians. So I know this is difficult, but if you want to ask me what I'm dreaming of, I think this would be amazing. We would have so much creative musicians and music we've never heard before. Excuse me. I'm speeding up now. I see my time. Just a little bit of a status quo. What also will happen in the next years, I think, or month. Each musician will probably have its own AI, I think so, which will be a lot of music of them will be in the AI, and the AI will be able to create new music because of this AI. And you can also buy an AI. There's also a company already existing. It's called Delphos. You can buy an AI from, I don't know, let's say David Bowie. I'm just saying something stupid now. And you can ask the AI something, and that AI will spit out something for you, and then you can work with that proposals. So I think we will all have our personal AIs, and also the buzzword AI agents. We'll have a lot of AI agents who will take care of us and do the promotion for us. And the internet will be flooded by AIs. I mean, it's already, maybe if you're interested in that, there's also the dead internet theory, where we will just have an internet full of AIs. So what? What you just heard is just a tiny, tiny bit. I could talk about every subject for hours. I just wanted to try you a little bit of a brief summary. I think we will lose jobs. I know people disagree. It is like a big revolution. And I think the next decade will be difficult for artists, but there are also small things we can do as users. There are AI platforms who are ethically trained by data. And I give you some names here, which I really like. VoiceWeb, you can change your voice. Fairly Trained is a platform where you can search for platforms. Soundful, I use Delphos, I just talked about Beethoven and Endel. So yeah, it's up to us. The moment is now. Yes, we have to act and support our artists politically and in everyday life. But the best way, of course, will always stay. We just go to their concerts, appreciate when they take the guitar, like Jimi Hendrix, play piano like Glenn Gould, or our Celine sing, we love it. Or you go just to the punk chord and shout the 3 accords like to the song Kick Out the Jams. It's up to us. This is my contacts, feel free to ask me. This is my podcast on the right, and this is Kick Out the Jams. Thanks.